Feeling sluggish, bloated, or just not quite your best, sis? It might be time to listen to your gut. Did you know your gut microbiome, teeming with trillions of tiny bacteria, plays a major role in your overall health and well-being? Keeping those good bacteria happy is key, and that's where probiotics come in. But why spend a fortune on fancy probiotic supplements when you can whip up your own delicious source of gut-friendly goodness? Enter sauerkraut, the tangy fermented cabbage that's not only packed with flavor, but is also teeming with all those important probiotics. And the best part, making your own sauerkraut is surprisingly easy, quick, and super delicious. I actually thought I didn't like sauerkraut up until I made my very own. Sauerkraut is more than just a crunchy topping for your vegan hot dog. It's a fermented cabbage dish with a rich history and powerful punch of gut-friendly goodness. This culinary chameleon originated in Eastern Europe, where people discovered the magic of preserving cabbage through fermentation, creating a tangy, shelf-stable food packed with vitamins and beneficial bacteria called probiotics. These tiny microorganisms work wonders for your digestive system, boosting your immunity, aiding in digestion, and even improving mood. And today in this video, I'm going to show you the super simple way of how to make it. So all you're going to need is, of course, your cabbage. I'm using this, make sure you use organic cabbage if you can at all possible. And I'm using this, it looks white, but it's supposed to be like a regular cabbage. And then I'm using the purple cabbage, which I prefer, but both of them are delicious. And I wanted to see how the regular cabbage would taste, but purple cabbage is higher in nutrition, especially in particular anthocyanins. But all you need is your cabbage. You're going to need a knife or a mandolin to cut it up. I'm using a food processor, which makes everything go by even much faster. And I like the size of the pieces that it did. And then you're going to need a clean glass jar to put it in. You're going to need, now this part is optional. I also want to get this, but I did not have any of this special equipment. But I do want to get this fermenting kit off of Amazon because it comes with the weight, and you'll see the value that could have later on as I'm making it. And then it comes with a tamper, so you can kind of press it down, and again you'll see the benefit of that a little bit later. But all of those things is optional. I did not have any of that, and I made 2 batches of cabbage, and it turned out amazing. So after you have washed your cabbage, you're going to cut out your core. You're going to remove any damaged leaves. You could also, by the way, use some of the leaves to put on the top of your at the end, but I did not do that. I made it twice and I haven't done that, but it's something that you could do. I saw other people doing it. But after you cut up your cabbage, now if you're going to use the food processor, then you'll just cut it up in small enough chunks so that it'll fit in the food processor. But if you're actually going to be cutting it with a knife, then you want to make sure you cut it up in nice thin slices. If you're going to be using your food processor, then you want to make sure you use the shredder attachment to shred your cabbage, and then we're going to put it in a bowl and weigh it. The one thing that I do want to say, sis, is that you need to be taking probiotics every single day. And if you have little ones, you need to make sure they are taking some form of probiotics every single day. If you're like me and you've tried the sauerkraut at the grocery store, trust and believe this tastes 100 times better. So you may like it and they may like it as well. But if you want to improve your health and boost your immune system, you need to have probiotics every single day. I'm going to be doing an entire series on this, so make sure you subscribe to my channel. Also like and leave a comment. And if you want to improve your health by detoxifying your body, make sure you click in the description to get my free 3-day detox. Okay, so I have added up, because I made a mistake in zero the thingy out, so I had to add up. This is both of the cabbages together. 2142 times 0.02, which is 2%, equals 42.84, and you round that off to 43 grams of salt. Seems like it's a lot of salt compared to the little cabbage we just did, right? Anyway, that's how you figure that out. So I had a total of 3 little cabbages. I had 2 red cabbages and 1 white cabbage. And once you finish shredding it or cutting it up, you're going to weigh the cabbage so that you can know how much salt to put in. You're going to put in 2% of the weight of that cabbage. Now you can also add things like beets and garlic, and if you click in the link to get the blog post, I'm going to give you some optional things that you could add into it. But this was my second time doing it, and I really wanted to just see how the flavor would be with the cabbage by itself. But next time I will try the beets and perhaps the garlic. So here's our 43 grams of salt. Let me put that in there. 43 grams of salt. And there's our cabbage. So I'm going to sprinkle this on here, and then I'm going to get to massaging. Once you add your salt, you're just going to massage your little heart out for the next 5 to 10 minutes. Then you're going to cover it and let it sit for about 1 hour. Okay, last but not least, we are going to pack our clean jars with our cabbage. Now this is where that wooden stick tamper thingy that I showed you from Amazon comes in handy, but I didn't have one and it worked out just fine. So what I did was I made sure that I pressed down the cabbage so that the brine would rise to the top. This is the most important thing, is because you do not want any mold. If there's any dry pieces or any pieces of cabbage that is not immersed in the brine, then it risks the chance of getting mold. So what I did was every 24 hours for about 3 to 5 days is I went in, put on a glove, and I pressed down the cabbage to make sure that it was below the brine. And after about 3 days, that fermentation process happens and you don't have to worry about it. And so, yeah, and then after that, it only takes 21 days. You can taste it after 21 days, and you'll see whether or not you want it tangier or if you like it just like that. This is also going to, excuse me, this is also going to be dependent upon the temperature of your kitchen. When I'm doing this, it's winter time, so if it's warmer, it's about 70 degrees in my kitchen. If it's warmer in your kitchen, then I would probably check it after about 15 to 17 days. I have found that the purple cabbage doesn't have as much liquid in it as the regular cabbage, so don't be alarmed by that. Just make sure you press it down as much as you can. And at this point, once you press down the cabbage and the brine is at the top, then this is where you see some people, they would put on the outer leaves of the cabbage that they didn't use on top, but I've never done that and it worked out just fine. I will have to say, even though both cabbages are delicious, for me, the purple cabbage is just amazing. It is sweet. It has a sweetness to it. It's higher in anthocyanins. It's just amazing to me. Now, I didn't think I wanted to make the regular cabbage because I totally despise the sauerkraut at the grocery store, and it's usually that regular cabbage. So when I made this cabbage at home, the regular version, it is so delicious. So sis, you see how easy it is. Please make sure you make this cabbage, this sauerkraut. And there we have our cabbage. Now, like I said, for the next 3 to 5 days, I'm just going to put on a glove and press the cabbage down, and you see the little pieces of cabbage that are around the jar. All I did was kind of move them around, swish them around, just make sure that they got some of the liquid, and they did not mold, sis. They did not mold. And after about 3 days, just to be honest, I did it for 3 days. I set it and forget it. I didn't come back and check on it until 21 days later. And I'm telling you, these days are going by so fast. It's crazy. I feel like I just did this. But anyway, today is February the 7th. Now, I let my husband smell it yesterday. Last time when we did it, we let it go for a few more days because he said it wasn't tart enough. Now, my husband likes everything super sour. For a normal person, the 21 days would been fine, but I think I let this go for another 2 days just for him. But after the 21 days, I found that it the fermentation process was going faster. So the 2 days, it was like a lot more sour than it was. The other thing that I want to say is the benefit of doing this your own self is that you can make this how sour you want. You can stop the fermentation process at any time, especially if you have little ones and you want them to partake of this, then you can make it less fermented to whatever they, you think they can tolerate. So, but we're going to go ahead and taste it and see what we think of it today, what I think of it anyway, today. Ferment pretty fast. So I'm going to give this a taste. Let's look at it. Can we see it good? That's good. And I will say, that's good. Now, I've never had the white cabbage before, so I just want to taste the white cabbage. Which I probably, excuse me, personally, is this still recording? Yeah, I probably, personally wouldn't. Let's taste it first, and then I'll tell you what I want to say. How does it look? This is the white cabbage. Okay then. You know what? I'm glad I didn't say what I was gonna say. Because I was gonna say I wouldn't really do the white cabbage because, the red has super high in anthocyanins, and I would rather just get this, and then it just tasted so good that I was just like, oh heck no, I never would want to have this white cabbage. But this white cabbage is fire too. It's actually more tangy. This one, because of the anthocyanins, has more of a sweetness to it, so I think it takes longer for the tanginess. But honey, this one is like, it's ready. She is ready. I need to go get me a hot dog. Man, she ready. I'm gonna put her in the refrigerator. So once you get it to your liking, go ahead and put it in the refrigerator. This doesn't stop the fermentation process, but it slows it down significantly. So it's going to last in your refrigerator for about 4 to 6 months. This is a great way to preserve food, get healthy probiotics in, boost your immune system, and improve your overall health.